If you're not familiar with Maninka fruit, it is the unique ingredient that Hugo Boss uses in their scent line, and this note smells amazing. It smells like dried fruits, a little bit of dark chocolate and cherries, and it almost has a little bit of a dusty vibe to it. The fragrance I'm talking about is Hugo Boss The Scent Absolute, which was released in 2019. My name is James, and welcome to Country Club Fragrance Reviews, where we're going to be taking a look at this incredible smelling fragrance. One of the great things about Hugo Boss The Scent Absolute is its ability to be mature and classy smelling, but it can also be very casual and versatile as an everyday fragrance. This is a very underappreciated designer fragrance, and I think if more people try this out, it would get a lot more attention. So this is obviously a flanker for Hugo Boss The Scent. So this came out in 2019, and the type of fragrance this is like a amber spicy fragrance. This is just a quick overview of the presentation. You can see the box and you can see the bottle. So the note breakdown on this is fairly simple. If you're not familiar with Maninka fruit, it's something that Hugo Boss is known as, and what it does is it gives kind of a almost like a fruity and dusty yet slightly sweet and bitter fruit accord. It's almost like there are a little bit of crushed blueberries in there to my nose. So because of their use of this Maninka fruit note, that's what makes this fragrance and some of the other ones in the collection just unique and different. You're just not really going to experience this in really any other fragrance. So when you first spray this on, you're going to get a little bit of sweet fruity notes. It comes off extremely pleasant and it smells incredibly good. Underneath that fruit is a little bit of spiciness from ginger, but after about a minute or so, this is when this fragrance really starts to shine just a little bit. That's when this Maninka fruit kicks in. It's kind of a fruity and dusty scent. It's really hard to describe until you smell it. So from time to time, I also catch whiffs of chocolate. So the chocolate that comes out of this fragrance is like one of those large 85% cocoa chocolate bars that you break open. It's a nice fresh chocolate scent, but in addition to that, you catch a little bit of fruity notes, almost like a cherry underneath that. Now I know I'm talking about cherries and chocolate. This by no means is a gourmand fragrance. It is not a foodie scent at all. Just the way this scent is designed is just incredible to me. So there's a little bit of vanilla kind of hidden in there as well, which makes it a little bit sweet, but it is nowhere near a sickly sweet fragrance. That's what makes this so good to me, is it has a little bit of sweetness, but it also has a little bit of classiness and maturity and a little bit of formalness to it. So the scent is kind of linear, which to me that's not a bad thing with the way this scent smells and the way it's designed. But once it reaches that dry down, a little bit of vetiver and wood seem to come out a little bit more, which kind of grounds the fragrance and gives it a good solid backbone to that sweetness, that fruit, and that vanilla. So this is something that can be worn casually every day. It can be worn on a date. It can be worn to a formal event. To me, it's a very versatile fragrance. So projection on it is really good, especially for a designer fragrance. So I get about 6 to 8 hours out of this. The projection is consistently at around arm's length for probably 2 to 3 hours. I can tell you the scent bubble that this stuff leaves is so good. It is probably one of my favorite fragrances to smell on someone else. My son wears this from time to time, and when he walks by, I know exactly what he's wearing, and it smells so good. So as far as price on this, if you can find it in a brick and mortar store, you're going to pay full retail, probably around $100 for the 50 ml. But on online discounters, you can get this for around $55 for the 50 ml, and I think the 100 ml you can probably get it for around $75 to $80. So not too bad for a $55 fragrance.